So what I'll do first is just run through some of the examples that I've built in the past, so and how they've actually solved problems, and yeah, really useful. So this is live in cursor, what you're seeing here on the page here. So this window is just like the preview window. So this opens up as a web app. So I wanted this accessible on my phone and desktop. This is actually hosted on GitHub, and we'll cover what all those things are specifically if you're super brand new to this. But this basically, we had a couple of PDFs from, my wife and I both had a couple of PDFs of different food plans from our old personal trainer, and they did a full meal plan for us. But my wife and I had slightly different portion sizes, and we basically, every time we came to cook, we had to go and scroll through these PDFs to the right day to be able to try and find out what it is we need to cook for. So it was constantly going to the PDFs, and or you'd lock your phone and open it again and have to scroll to the same spot. And I was like, there is an easier way here. So we took those PDFs and converted them into code, essentially, to be able to use and create this food planner. Now, this is super simple, but it saves us so much time. And this overall, just the whole process is just saved a ton of time for us. So, yeah, basically we have here just the title and what the water target is, now and next. So whenever I open up the app, it reads the time of day, and if it's near lunchtime, it'll show you, in this case, meal 2 lunchtime, and that'll actually click off when it hits if I refresh this. But yeah, that's, I just wanted the most current meal given to me right at the top as and when I went to it. So whenever I refreshed it, it was super useful to be able to come in and actually just get given what I needed to. And so yeah, and be able to see what the snacks were for the rest of the day. So if it's near breakfast time, you see the breakfast recipe. If you're near dinner time, you see the dinner recipe. So that was super useful. But also, if we've got different measurements, I added in this, my wife Camilla and me Christian, we can bounce between the two very quickly, and you can actually see the difference in grams for the beef changing as I'm selecting that there. So when we're doing the portion control, we can measure stuff out. It's very easy for us to be able to bounce between the two and make sure that we're actually getting the right amount, which is nice. And so you can scroll down and see then what other snacks are due. And then I added this button at the bottom. We want to see the full week. So sometimes you don't just want to know what it is you're having there and then. You want to see the full day or the full week. And so because today's Monday, this is highlighted in green, and you've got the full week as just like nice drop downs. Maybe I can switch this on. Yeah, cool. And so you can expand Monday, and then you can see breakfast, first snack, lunch, the second snack, meal, and then if there's anything else afterwards. So I actually have something else underneath afterwards. I have a third snack, and Camilla, my wife, doesn't. So that was super useful to be able to have these here. And then yeah, being able, whichever one I click, it collapses the other one and only shows one at a time. And so you've got that full thing, so you can check, right, on Friday, what am I having for dinner? It's going to be sausage and mash. So really nice to be able to come in and just have this information handy when we need it, as and when we need it, right in front of us. So good morning, TweetsDev. How you doing? Thank you for joining. And so this was super useful. And then the same kind of usefulness is this shopping list button top right. So if we go and do a weekly shop, this is everything we need for everything that is within this thing. So there is no AI tool here. This is just really simple, hard-coded, but just providing the information on a very simple website in front of us exactly when we need it. And so this was just one example of a really useful time-saving tool that I built for myself and hosted it on my GitHub, so that I can just go to a URL in Chrome on my phone and it's there straight away. So we use this every day, multiple times a day, and it was very, very useful and very, very easy. And I made it in an hour, 2 hours tops. So that was really, really useful. Okay, and so The next thing that I built, which is super useful, let's just go to Chrome. This is for later, but this is a dashboard. So I saw online a few people were actually building these, and this is super useful for me. So I can actually come here and check in the last 90 days how my content's doing. So this is a full dashboard of, and it's pulling the data from Instagram APIs and YouTube APIs and pulling it all into one location, so I can dashboard it so I can see what's happening. So I wanted to know what posts are doing well on Instagram versus YouTube, and you can see we've got these metrics along the top. I can select whether it's just Instagram metrics, and now you're looking at just Instagram metrics versus just YouTube metrics. And because my YouTube is a lot newer, there's a lot less data, but very interesting nevertheless. And you can pick how things are going in the last 2 weeks versus the last 90 days, or like a custom range. So really useful to be able to come in and have a look and see what we've got going on. You can scroll down and see the top performing posts based on, this is engagement and then views. So you've got a little drop down. So this is really nice to be able to see how that's going. So I can make this there we go. That's a bit nicer. So yeah, really nice dashboard. You've got the followers and subscribers on there. Every time, this just runs locally. This isn't hosted anywhere online. I can just run this as a local app, and it feeds all of this and then refreshes every time this loads as well. Quick question, does Cursor let you dive into the code and change stuff manually? Yes, you can, absolutely. Yeah, I'll show you how that looks. You can access Cursor basically just opens up a folder on your desktop, and it'll just fill in all of the code there, and you can open it up in Cursor, make small tweaks, hit Control S and save that, and yeah, you're straight in. So yeah, TweetDev, that's your question answered there. So very handy just to go in and change a couple of numbers without using tokens for it to change. So this was really useful. I did some content analysis as well, but not very useful. I've got my top posts as well. So combined, you can see different engagement. So this was super useful to see what's working and what isn't. What are people responding to? What do people like most on different platforms? So it's really nice to actually come in and just take a little look and see what we've got. So top 5, top 10. Instagram's doing much better than YouTube, so top 10 is going to be just Instagram. And then got legacy posts as well. So because there are collabs as well, but I've hit 1,000 posts on Instagram, and so you can see how things have been going over the years. And the collaboration with Brie Larson with the face filters versus how you know, the AI sculptures and things and sculptures in general have been going. So really useful to be able to come in and have a look and see how things are doing. So yeah, some really lovely memories here about all of the things done in the past. So yeah, really useful tool just for me to understand, right, what content am I going to make next, what's useful, and so if you guys have any particular things that you want me to look at, drop a comment. Yeah, it's really useful. So that was great. And then the other thing that I've been coding, so I've been doing a lot of Gaussian splats, or like real-time 3D. So this is a live website, and then there's a project I'm doing in October, but this then allowed me to really go along to this specific location for that project and take my drone up and actually scan this particular piece. So this was really nice. So I'm just going to do a quick, not that one, let's do F11, quick refresh. The reason why is because this has got a nice little loading part. So this is Hodsock Priory, and this is just the gatehouse. So wanted to create a nice external interactive experience for the web, and so this is what's called a Gaussian splat. So this is essentially just a 3D scan, but done with kind of photogrammetry and point clouds, and that's a whole different topic. But this was a really nice demo to put together to make it branded. We can change with little buttons, bottom left, to change to light mode and dark mode. And yeah, all of this, this splat's about 20 megabytes, and there's a full screen button there. But essentially wanted to create a bit of a virtual exterior tour, something historical. So if you click this little button here, this will actually change the camera location, change the pivot point, so that when you click and drag, this also runs on mobile. There's an optimized version that runs on mobile. Sometimes needs a few seconds to load, but the idea is you can click next, and it'll take you to the next location. And actually very specifically pulling out these architectural, this Lombard frieze that we have here to actually have a little look at the details. And considering this was done with a couple of videos on a drone and a lot of processing on my gaming PC, yeah, really nice to be able to come in and actually have a little look and explore this and give the viewer the control to be able to move around this space as they like. So what's really nice about the Gaussian splat is it's actually cut out all of the individual parts of the crenulated power pit, all these crenulations. So really nice to be able to spin around, have a look at the coins, and then the ashlar stone dressings around the windows. So yeah, really nice to be able to, and then we're back here, and then you click close and it returns you back here. So very nice, very high-end polished experience that's hosted on web and constraining camera views. We won't go into detail with this today, but if enough people are really interested, yeah, we can definitely do something about Gaussian splats later on, because they're very powerful and they're really nice, and there's some amazing work happening in the space to actually get some really nice high quality scans in places for people. So just seeing if there's any comments on the YouTube side. No, feel free to, if you guys have any questions at any point, don't hesitate to ask. So okay, so that's what I've built before with all with Cursor. I have used Claude Code a little bit, but there's a reason why I use Cursor and Codex within Cursor. So I feel we just get a little more tokens and you just get a little more mileage for the time. So now that we've covered those, let me go through what the download process is to get you guys set up, and you can always come back to this video later when you're ready to set this up on your side and how this all works for you. So oh, and also I did redo my website completely from scratch as well. So this is all coded natively, which is really nice to be able to come in and actually just do all of this, and then it's hosted completely for free as well. So yeah, really nice to be able to have a bit more control over coding, because I know exactly what I want. I can come in and actually say, right guys, build this. Come on, let's go. It's not too difficult. So really nice approach there, and then obviously light mode and dark mode, really nice.